In today's Farm Report, the agricultural industry has seen a record high profitability in the last decade, part of what economists call a super cycle. But as Jim Sulphur with the University of Minnesota Extension Service Office reports, that super cycle may be ending.
I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and David Cole was a speaker kind of talking about the economics. Very familiar name among anyone around the ag industry, and he does a lot of speaking, kind of a real practical applied kind of economist that's retired a few years ago from Virginia Tech, and now he does a lot of speaking. I think he does a lot of speaking in Minnesota as much as anywhere. And of course, anyone in ag and has heard him over the last couple years talked about this super cycle of agriculture we've been in for about the last 10 years or so. With every year, it seemed like prices were up a little bit higher. Profitability was really good, especially among the crop segments. The livestock segments really varied a lot. Some years they had good years, some years they didn't. But it clearly appears like that super cycle of profitability is maybe over, and we're going to go into more of a period that is more traditional. And one of the challenges is when you come out of these super cycles, your costs are still high. So rental costs are very high, land costs are still high, input costs are high, but our prices that we receive for our products, particularly crops, is really down to a more normal level that it's been. And so just encouraging people how to maybe prepare for that. The other thing that's kind of happening is it looks like the world economy is maybe slowing down a little bit. One of the comments he had, which I think was really interesting, said China used more concrete and steel in just the years 2011 and 2012 than the U.S. did for the entire 20th century. And that kind of puts into perspective how fast China really grew during that period of time. Now, the economy is still predicted to grow, but maybe not as fast as it has in the past. Some of the other things that's been happening, the biofuels mandate is kind of softening. You can hear a lot of resistance in Congress to kind of this biofuels mandate. The central bank stimulus is over, and so we're probably likely to see some increases in interest rates. So if you're in the ag community, I think you need to be thinking about these global trends that you're seeing and how that might affect your business and how you might be prepared for to be a little more resilient maybe than on this rapid growth pace than we've had in the past. This has been Jim Sulphur with the University of Minnesota Extension in St. Cloud.
If the president does not have trade promotion authority,
the president will have a difficult time concluding negotiations
and getting a Trans-Pacific Partnership trade agreement. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack telling a phone conference with business people across the country Friday the effort to get TPA legislation right now is focused in the Senate,
where Senator Hatch and Senator Wyden are trying to work collaboratively in a bipartisan way to come up with a trade promotion authority bill that speaks to the concerns that Senator Wyden and some of the members of the Democratic caucus have concerning trade, and the hope would be that this gets resolved between these two senators who are on the Finance Committee quickly so that a bill can be presented.
With emphasis on quick, Vilsack says the window to get a Trans-Pacific Partnership agreement will probably close at the end of this calendar year.
When we get into 2016, obviously you get a lot of other extraneous issues. It's a presidential election year.
So Vilsack says it's vital to get trade promotion authority for the president soon, so trade negotiators will be assured that whatever they agree on, Congress can't change it. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington.
Americans are eating more eggs and bacon, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Gary Crawford with the USDA has more.
And now a poignant, philosophical, meaningful song about a world-changing subject.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon.
That's it, the whole song. As I said, it has philosophy galore. Now, we are not sure if we Americans are actually eating more eggs and bacon at wakey time, to use the technical term, but we are sure that in some way or other, we are consuming a growing number of eggs and a growing amount of bacon. One survey shows our egg consumption the highest it's been in 7 years, and going back to 2011, the average American was responsible for consuming in one way or another about 248 eggs. By last year, it was up to 258 per person per year. However, that's not just eating the egg. It accounts for all the eggs and all the food products we eat. And now we look at
bacon. Where's the bacon?
No, not yet. Okay, we'll have bacon in a minute. Now, for some reason or other, there don't seem to be any good statistics on bacon consumption itself, but there are surveys that definitely show
bacon is in strong demand right now.
Agriculture Department livestock analyst Shale Shagam, and there's one interesting survey that was done in 2011, then again last year, asking consumers to recount their bacon eating habits over the last 30 days, how much they ate. So, a few findings. Back in 2011, only 3.4% of us reported eating 5 pounds or more of bacon over the last 30 days. Last year, that's up to 5%. 2011, 18.7% of us said we ate 2 pounds of bacon in the last 30 days. Last year, over 21.5% said that. To the other extreme, those that ate no bacon in the last month, 2011, 6%. Now, you'd think with the popularity of vegetarianism, that percentage would go up over time, but last year, only 5.4% reported eating no bacon, proving, as Shale Shagam said,
we like bacon.
and, they're putting bacon in everything. These are true products that we found. Bacon gum, bacon chocolate bars, bacon mayonnaise, and even... Yes, last season at a minor league game I attended, the concession stands were selling bacon buckets of bacon. Now, of course, demand for it is up. Prices, too. In fact, back to the...
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon.
USDA economist Anne-Marie Coons took a look at what prices have done for what?
Eggs and bacon.
That's eggs and bacon. She looked at the combination average price of a dozen grade A eggs and a pound of bacon, 2010 versus February of this year. The 2010 price.
$5.51, but today it costs $7.56. It's an increase of 37%.
But most of that increase is because of bacon prices. Eggs are up only about 20 cents a dozen, but 1 pound of bacon, average price February 2010, $3.64.
But in February of 2015, this is $5.47.
But evidently, we're willing to pay more for that. Oh, come on. Say it, dog. Say it.
Bacon!
Thank you. This is Gary Crawford.
Bacon! Bacon!
Okay,
Where's the bacon?
Gary
I smell
Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
Inland barge transportation of ag commodities along U.S. waterways experienced its heaviest traffic ever late last year.
October was a month to remember until November came. We had export inspections of over 500 million bushels of grain. We never came that close before. To do that in October and then to repeat that second consecutive month in November is rather remarkable.
And Ken Erickson of Informa Economics told an audience at this year's USDA Ag Outlook Forum that was fueled by soybean demand from China.
It had to come down to the fact that we had just that one key crop that is highly condensed within a very short window. It's essentially then going to one country, which helps make for high throughput capabilities. You can get a very efficient system.
Yet that also puts shock on transportation systems like barges. Erickson adds this may also curtail private sector investment into building barges and other assets if use is limited to just a few months every year. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.